finish that here. I was hoping maybe I won't post it here so it gets to Ireland quicker.
How to be your brother's best friend.
Hiding in the world. Yes.
Step 1. Spend quality time together. I live in Germany and my brother lives in Georgia. I invited him to Berlin for a week, and after some effective persuasion and a bank transfer, he said yes.
You don't need to look into the camera, you can just act normal.
I would say that amongst my siblings, my relationship with my brother is the closest. We were the last of our siblings to leave home, so it was only me, him, and my parents for a little while. My brother moved to Georgia 2 months before I moved to Berlin. We related over our preparations for this, and we're both Christians, so we connected a lot about Christ, studying the Word and fellowshipping together. The similarity of our timelines, taking these big steps in the same way and in the same year, made us relate to each other more. My relationship with my brother has not always been like this. When we were kids, we really hated each other, and the hate was mostly coming from my side. I think there was a sense where people think sibling rivalry is natural and okay, but I think that this is a consensus that needs to be challenged. When I think about all the ways I've hurt my brother, let him down, and embarrassed him, I honestly feel shame. I feel regret, and I feel hurt that I hurt him. But this video is positive because it's not a story of regret, but a story of redemption.
I can't even explain it. It doesn't look far from us.
Step 2. Take care of your brother. There is a verse in Genesis that goes, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Like Cain, who asked this question, we often push aside or neglect the duty we owe to our brothers, our sisters, our family, and our friends. Though Cain asked this question to skirt responsibility, I take this question upon myself to say yes. I am my brother's keeper. I am his sister and his best friend. So I try my very best to keep him safe, to keep him feeling loved, to keep him feeling respected, to keep his well-being in mind, to keep him in my prayers.
Yeah, you have to let you know. So we're on our way to go to the shop and
Do some groceries.
yeah, just put a damage in the wallet,
There's a damage in my wallet, Jesus.
During this trip, one of the ways I took care of my brother was by providing for him financially. In our society, money seems to be one of the greatest burdens we all share and can relate with. In my own life, money has been a kind of chain, a kind of restriction, and burden. I worried and stressed over money, how much of it I have or don't have, being overly cautious about spending, being stingy with my money, and always considering the foregone alternative when I did buy something.
So boring, I'm sorry.
No.
One thing I have learned about love is that it gives. In fact, it lavishes. It lavishes mercy, it lavishes grace, kindness, tenderness, forgiveness. This kind of giving is expected in us in the ways we give financially to those we care about. It is not enough to care emotionally about my brother's well-being and offer him nothing to help it. In the book of James, there's a verse that says, "Suppose you see a brother or sister who has no food or clothing, and you say, 'Goodbye and have a good day, stay warm and eat well,' but then you don't give that person any food or clothing. What good does that do?" I thank God because I don't have my own place, but I rent a room big enough to fit in an extra mattress for him. I thank God because I didn't have a job at the time, but there was still enough for me to feed myself and him. I thank God that I could have the desire for my own personal space again, because I know what it feels like to have my own personal space. I thank God because every time I tapped my debit card, I felt nervous, but it didn't stop me from tapping my card. I thank God because even with the little I had, I didn't send my brother back to Georgia empty-handed. Step 3. Love your brother as you love yourself. Because I love myself, I shower, I try to eat healthy, I go to the gym when I can, I dress myself warmly when it's cold. In the same way I provide for my needs, I provide for my brother also. During this trip, I mainly provided for my brother's financial needs. And on the last day of this trip, I prayed with him.
Okay.
So what do you want? What drink do you want?
I imparted to him something that money could never buy. When my brother had left, God showed me how I had so much more to give than money. I gave him love. I gave him my time. I invested in his life and in his spirit. This is what Christ does for us all. He offers to us his time, his love, his effort, his energy, his power, his comfort, even his own life on the cross, so that we may receive eternal life through him. I have failed to love my brother in the past, but Jesus has never failed to love me. I have failed to be kind to my brother in the past, and sometimes even now, but Jesus has never failed to be kind to me. Despite all my sins, of which God really hates, he has never hated me. It is because of this love that I can love my brother today, that I can be his best friend. So in conclusion, to be your brother's best friend, be a best friend of Jesus Christ first. That relationship with your brother or with your sister or with whatever family member or friend will be redeemed as Christ redeems you.